Hey there, today I'm going to walk you through how to take a 2D thumbnail, turn it into a 3D sketch from start to finish. Alright, to start, we're on landingpad.me. We're going to upload a file, hitting this plus sign on the top right of the page. We're going to navigate to where we've saved our image on our computer. And then I'm actually going to create a new folder as well. And I'm going to move that file to that folder, just keep things organized. You can also drop and drag files into the view here as a way to upload them. Just gonna confirm, yep, there it is. Okay, now we're in headset. I'm gonna create a new sketch. First thing I'm gonna do is hit the blue button, menu, find the reference image icon. I'm gonna navigate to the same folder tree where I saved that reference image. I'm gonna grab it with my grab sphere, bring it into space, and the first thing I'm gonna do is unanchor that sketch by grabbing my grab sphere and hitting the blue button on my non-drawing controller. And now I am going to snap to the mirror plane by grabbing it and hitting the front trigger on my non-drawing controller, and it'll snap to all the major planes. Now I'm going to navigate to my prefabs and import models. I'm going to go to the Gravity Sketch reference library, Footwear, Last, and I'm going to pick this Men's Athletic 5. I'm going to front trigger on it twice. It's going to open to a window to the right just to show me like a precise import. I'm going to hit the blue check mark. And yep, so now I'm going to navigate again, hit the blue menu button, navigate to layers. I'm going to make sure everything is on its own layer. I've got the reference image on that layer 1, and I've got the last on its own layer as well. Now I'm going to scale up this reference image. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to press both inside triggers of my controllers and bring my controllers apart. It's going to scale it up. Now I'm going to more precisely scale it using the selection tool. I'm going to hit the hammer or paintbrush icon on my drawing controller. I'm going to front trigger on that sketch, and then once it's lit up in orange, I'm going to hit the purple button on my non-drawing controller, and it's going to bring out this gumball that I'm using here to scale and move it around more precisely. Now I'm going to go back to that layers button, change my transparencies, and rename all my layers to keep things organized. I'm going to have a reference image layer, a last layer, and a sketch layer. Alright, so now I'm going to hit the purple button, my tools button, and make sure I'm going to do an ink stroke here. I'm going to make sure planar is turned on. It's going to give me this little red laser line that's going to stop on the mirror plane itself. I'm just going to make sure I'm sketching kind of a bright stroke, or even black is fine. And I'm just going to draw these gesture lines, hit my major lines first, my ground contour, my top line, my silhouette, those are kind of the most important lines. And yeah, I'm not gonna sketch every single line that I had in my thumbnail, but kind of the key ones, kind of make some choices here. And I'll get a chance to redraw a lot of these. And like in the heel here, I had a hard time throwing that line like I wanted, so I just kind of left it alone. I'm gonna come back and sketch it in different modes. So here I'm just showing you everything's on its own plane, and I'm gonna turn off that planar mode, so any sketches I make after this won't be a planar mode. Alright, I'm going to use my grab sphere and smart move here to move most of my lines off the last, just past it. I'm going to leave that center stroke alone. I'm going to use grab cube here. I'm going to hold down that inside trigger, push over my joystick, will give me a grab cube instead of a sphere. That'll let me grab all of those curves, long hold the blue button on my non-drawing controller, and that will let me take them all into edit mode at the same time. And I'm going to toggle mirror on right here. So I'm just checking. Yep, there they are, mirrored on the other side. I'm going to hit the blue check mark to confirm. I'm going to put them all back in edit mode again. So when I start editing these, you'll see them move on the medial side as well. I'm going to move a lot of points at once here by using soft select, and that's going to be, I'm not hovering over anything with the grab sphere, but then I'm going to hold the inside trigger and then press down on my joystick. It'll give me a small grab sphere and a larger grab sphere on the outer. The inner one's about 100% transform compared to my controller movement, and the outer one's closer to 0. And so that'll let me push and pull multiple points around at once at different rates. Or I'm going to go back into stroke here, and yeah, I couldn't hit it with planar, so I'm going to go in by hand and adjust these. That heel like I like it. Alright, checking. It's my last. I'll put everything into edit mode here, and I'm going to go ahead and bake this mirror. That's going to let me edit the medial side points as well, so you see all the points light up, medial and lateral side. So I'm again gonna move a couple little points here, but the main task here is going to be using that soft select again and pushing my medial side points into place. I like the outer grab sphere being about a third larger than my controller, and the inner one being about the size of my inside trigger. I find that's the best ratio. And now I'm just going to adjust some singular points. Sometimes, I'll just, if it's a repeating element, I'll make it right somewhere once and then just duplicate by grabbing and hitting the front trigger. Kind of thought twice about drawing the top eyelet, so I decided to use a primitive. I'm going to make a torus. I'm going to scale it with the controllers, move it into place, and yeah, knock some points out of that curve. Not a lot of lines in this sketch, so you gotta kind of make sure they're like you like them. I'm gonna duplicate that torus into the lateral side. And duplicating some elements I like. This is when you get to kind of make some decisions that, maybe are slightly different than your original thumbnail. I'm going to duplicate that tongue webbing for heel webbing, just the style of it. Alright, checking everything here. Now I'm going to make another stroke. I'm going to do kind of point mode, stroke, and up the scale, move the size of it a little bit. I'm just going to drop some points on the lateral side here. And this will just give me some more design freedom down the line. Talk about it more in another video. Go ahead and put that in edit mode. Hit the purple button, bring up the menu for it. I'm going to go ahead and mirror it. And now when I bring those points to the mirror plane, they kind of snap and make that lock icon. So you can't really move it off the mirror plane unless you grab it and hit the lock icon on your mountain drawing hit. Also going to kind of change the size of it using that graph there. Same thing with the very front point, so now I kind of got a loop. Just these, the top line's pretty important, so you got to spend some time on it. And I'm just going to duplicate that line straight down. Again, in a future video I'll show you why that's important. Give myself some design freedom and flexibility down the line. Delete all the curves I didn't want. Now this is kind of an important part of a 3D sketches, contour lines. You don't have surfaces to kind of show you volume, so you need these lines show you how surfaces change direction. Is it out? Is it in? Those sorts of things. I'm often using drawing them once or twice and then duplicating them as I go and adjusting. In the vamp there, you'll see I threw an extra line. It's not really design detail, but it just kind of helps show volume and shape. And now I'm just going to kind of make a lace real quick here, throw a little stroke, delete the last few points so it's kind of thick, and I'm just going to point mode, kind of grab and drop, duplicate points as I go, kind of lace it in VR. I'm going to just kind of move these points around, make sure they go in and out of my eyelets like I like it, and don't kind of cut through the last too much. Give it a little style at the end. Alright, here I decide I want to draw this little texture array. So I kind of draw a circle, but it's not a closed loop until I take it, put it in edit mode, and actually toggle on loop. And I'm going to use that same circle, duplicate it to kind of make my pattern. Now I'm going to kind of group all those together. Once I have my pattern, I'm going to use the selection tool to kind of adjust the angle it is on that midsole. And yeah, there you go. You see me kind of rotating it a little bit, moving it up and down. So I like it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so I'm going to save this sketch. I'm going to save out, kind of want to make sure I'm saving in the cloud right here. Go ahead and save this. Name it. Yep, thanks a lot.